Our smartphones, laptops, and electric cars, marvels of modern technology, connecting us in ways unimaginable just decades ago. We marvel at their sleek design, their processing power, their ability to enhance our lives. But beneath this shiny veneer lies a dark secret, a hidden cost fueling our technological addiction. Deep in the heart of the Democratic Republic of Congo, a human tragedy unfolds, far removed from the sterile factories and gleaming storefronts of the tech giants. The DRC holds the world's largest reserves of cobalt, a critical mineral essential for the rechargeable batteries powering our devices. This small nation, plagued by poverty and conflict, supplies over 70% of the global cobalt demand. While the world races towards a future powered by clean energy and electric vehicles, the DRC's cobalt has become both a blessing and a curse, a source of wealth for some and unimaginable suffering for many others. The demand for cobalt has fueled a dangerous and exploitative industry, one where human rights are trampled upon, and the environment is sacrificed at the altar of profit. This is the story of the DRC's cobalt miners, the unseen hands behind our technological progress, and the heavy price they pay to power our modern world. In the DRC's southeastern Katanga region, thousands of artisanal miners, including children as young as 6, toil in dangerous conditions to extract cobalt. These small-scale miners, driven by poverty and lack of opportunity, often work without any safety equipment, their bare hands digging into the earth, their lungs filled with toxic dust. The mines, often poorly constructed and prone to collapse, pose a constant threat to their lives. The air they breathe is heavy with harmful particles, leading to respiratory illnesses and long-term health complications. The lack of sanitation and clean water further exacerbates their plight, making them susceptible to diseases. These miners, many of whom are children robbed of their childhoods and forced into labor, face exploitation and abuse at every turn. They are trapped in a cycle of poverty, their lives controlled by powerful individuals who profit from their desperation. The cobalt extracted by these miners often ends up in the supply chains of some of the world's largest tech companies. From the smartphones we hold to the electric cars we drive, the demand for cobalt fuels this cycle of misery. While these companies promise ethical sourcing and responsible practices, the reality on the ground tells a different story, one of broken promises and a disregard for human life. The global demand for cobalt has created a complex and opaque supply chain, making it difficult to trace the origin of the mineral. This lack of transparency allows companies to distance themselves from the human rights abuses at the source, turning a blind eye to the plight of the miners. While some companies have pledged to source their cobalt ethically, their efforts often fall short, hampered by a lack of oversight and accountability. The DRC, despite its vast mineral wealth, remains one of the poorest countries in the world. The profits from cobalt mining often end up in the hands of corrupt officials and multinational corporations, leaving the local communities impoverished and exploited. The legal battles against these companies seeking justice for the miners and their families have faced significant hurdles. In 2019, a landmark lawsuit was filed against several tech giants, alleging their complicity in the exploitation of child labor in the DRC's cobalt mines. The lawsuit, filed on behalf of families who had lost children in mining accidents, highlighted the brutal conditions and the company's failure to prevent human rights abuses in their supply chains. However, the lawsuit was dismissed in 2024, dealing a significant blow to the fight for justice and accountability. Addressing the human rights crisis in the DRC's cobalt mining industry requires a multifaceted approach involving governments, corporations, and civil society. Increased transparency and traceability in the cobalt supply chain are crucial to hold companies accountable for their sourcing practices. Stricter regulations and enforcement mechanisms are needed to prevent the use of child labor and ensure safe working conditions for miners. Empowering local communities, providing them with alternative livelihood opportunities, and investing in education and healthcare are essential steps towards breaking the cycle of poverty and exploitation. The global shift towards clean energy and electric vehicles should not come at the expense of human rights and environmental sustainability. Consumers, too, have a role to play by demanding ethically sourced products and supporting companies committed to responsible mining practices. The road ahead is long and challenging, but we cannot afford to ignore the human cost of our technological progress. The fight for a just and sustainable cobalt industry is a fight for the future of the DRC and a test of our collective humanity.